Hi friends, welcome to my channel Cricket Fantasy Stats. In this video, we are going to discuss about which player to be picked and which player to be dropped in your fantasy teams for Pakistan versus South Africa match to win big. First, you may need to understand the players who lose in fantasy would be mostly because of the last minute confusion on which players to choose and which player to drop. So this video helps you to eliminate the players from your fantasy teams and pick only the correct players as per stats, venue record, player matchups, and logical analysis. Friends, don't worry, even though if you are not aware of player stats, this video will help you to make the fantasy teams as this is being prepared by considering all stats and in-depth analysis. Tomorrow's match is going to be a big encounter between the two heavy teams. South Africa will be eyeing to win this game to top the table. On the other hand, unexpectedly, Pakistan suffered a huge defeat against Zimbabwe and will like to turn it up in this particular encounter. Now looking at the wicketkeeper category, we have two choices, Quinton de Kock and Mohammad Rizwan. So both of them needs to be picked in your fantasy teams because both players opens the innings for their respective teams and does keeping as well. This helps you to fetch points with batting and keeping points as well. You have to see Mohammad Rizwan especially performing in this match because his head-to-head record is around 61 average. So Rizwan loves to play against South Africa, and this match being played at Sydney, which favors the batters, Rizwan loves to dominate in this match. And Quinton de Kock similarly has a very good head-to-head record against Pakistan, averaging around 42. So this is a massive average which the de Kock has, and he loves to play against Pakistan. Both Rizwan and de Kock can be considered as a captain's choice in your teams. Now looking at the batting section, Fakhar Zaman being ruled out from the tournament, we have Rilee Rossouw, David Miller, Shan Masood and Babar Azam. Remember, so David Miller, when playing for South Africa, that too especially when South Africa is chasing, he loves to score runs and finish the game for South Africa. One interesting fact, especially in this match, is David Miller is averaging around 45 against Pakistan. And when looking at the runs scored, Miller has scored most of the runs, especially during batting first. So David Miller should be in your fantasy teams when South Africa is batting first against Pakistan rather than chasing. Babar Azam. Remember, the Babar Azam has not performed yet in this World Cup and will look to score runs in this match against South Africa. The main reason is Babar Azam is averaging around 45 against South Africa and has scored runs in both the innings. He should be a must pick in your fantasy teams and can be considered as a GL captain. Don't ignore Babar Azam and try him as a Grand League captain, and he loves to score runs and fetches you more points. Now looking at the other two options, Rale Rasov, Shan Masood. Shan Masood can be picked when Pakistan is batting first, and similarly, Rale Rasov can be picked when South Africa is batting first. So these are the two modifications you can do as per the task. Looking at the all-rounder category, Aiden Markram. One important thing about Aiden Markram in this match is he has a very good head-to-head record, averaging 42 average, and he loves to score runs against Pakistan, and he will be a vital pick in today's match in both the innings. Don't drop Markram from your fantasy teams. And the other interesting fact is that Markram can be considered as a GL captaincy choice. Wayne Parnell. So looking at the record, Wayne Parnell has a tremendous record against Pakistan while bowling second. So Wayne Parnell took 3 wickets in a single match against Pakistan and his record is looking good. Similarly, Wayne Parnell mostly bowls at death when South Africa is bowling first, and he must be in your fantasy teams. Look at Shadab Khan. He has been selected by 85% of the people. And one interesting fact about Shadab Khan is he has a poor head-to-head record against South Africa. So for people who are taking risks, can ignore Shadab Khan in your fantasy teams as he is having a poor head-to-head record. Definitely ignore him when Pakistan is bowling first and can be considered in your fantasy teams when Pakistan is bowling second. And now look at the bowling section. This is where crucial in this match as we have bowlers from both the teams who are of high quality. So now looking at the bowlers category, we have Lungi Nigri, Haris Raf, Mohammad Wasim, Norkia, Rabada, Shaheen Shafridi, Naseem Shah and Keshav Maharaj. So one thing you need to understand here is the pitch at Sydney favors pacers and batters rather than spinners. The death bowlers will look to take wickets as the batsmen try to hit. One more interesting fact is in this venue is the team which is bowling second has dominated well and taken more wickets. So if South Africa is bowling second, make your team in such a way that South African pacers are being picked in your fantasy teams, and if Pakistan is bowling second, pick Pakistan pacers in your fantasy teams to fetch you more points, and this will make a big difference in winning. So now, when looking at the record and the current form, we all know that Lungi Nigidi is in red hot form and is having a good head-to-head record as well. He needs to be a must pick in your fantasy teams in both the innings. Haris Rauf loves to bowl at death. When Pakistan is bowling first, he can be picked in your fantasy teams, and while Pakistan is chasing, he can be ignored in your fantasy teams. Similarly, Mohammad Wasim, due to his current form, he needs to be picked in your fantasy teams in both the innings, and he will be a wicket taker and as well as a game changer in this match. Do not drop Mohammad Wasim in your fantasy teams. Andrik Nortje can be picked if South Africa is bowling second, as Nortje is having a good venue record of 4 wickets in a single match. So this is the pitch where South Africa played against Bangladesh, and Nortje took 4 wickets due to his express pace in the second innings. Kagiso Rabada. So Rabada is known for his death bowling skills, wicket taking capability. When South Africa is bowling first, he needs to be in your fantasy team and a must pick in your fantasy teams. Rabada doesn't have a good head-to-head record, but in this match, he can be considered as a Grand League captain when South Africa is bowling first. Similarly, Shaheen Shah Afridi, you can drop him in your fantasy teams in both the innings, as Shaheen Shah Afridi is having a poor record against South Africa. Naseem Shah is a wicket taker and loves to bowl at death. Look at the selection percentage is very less. Only 10% of the people have selected Naseem Shah. He will be a definite game changer in today's match, and don't avoid him in your fantasy teams. So now let's look at the captain and vice captain choices. So the captain choice, the default, Mohammad Rizwan and De Kock from the wicket keeping category. And for people who loves to take risk, can make Babar Azam as a captain, especially in this match, as his record is looking good against South Africa. And similarly, Markram can be considered as a captain or vice captain choice in today's match, and his record is also looking good. Hope this video helps you to create your best teams and win big. Thank you, friends.